Okay, so if you're a shy guy like me, then I'm pretty sure you know the following situation. Some sort of social scenario, like maybe with friends or maybe with like a family gathering. And all of them are maybe the like more extroverted people, like you have the cool uncle maybe that is very good at speaking, or your cousins maybe, whatever. And all of them are speaking, they are having conversation, they're laughing, having a good time, or your friends maybe also. You are a pretty introverted guy with not so good social skills, so you're sitting there listening to all of this and you really want to participate in this conversation. You really want to belong in there. You also want to be part of the fun, you want to be part of the cool kids. The thing is, your brain really shuts down and you don't know what to say, so you might be scrolling on your phone something and you really try to listen to the conversation and you think about something, okay, that you could add to this topic that might be of value, and you think like, okay, should I say this, should I not say this? And you take all of your guts, like really take yourself balls to share something, you to participate in the conversation. And what happens? Everybody is ignoring you, not really like responding to what you say, if they respond at all. Maybe you have had it many times, I had it many times. Afterwards you really feel like ashamed, you feel embarrassed, and you think, okay, no, I will not participate in anything for the rest of this evening because it doesn't make sense to even participate. By the way guys, my name is Dennis and I'm building my business right now, or trying to build my business while traveling and living as free as I can. And I will document everything here on YouTube, like upsides, downsides, everything in between. So yeah, if this is interesting, like and subscribe or whatever you want to do, and yes, enjoy the video. But you know what was the most embarrassing, I think, overthinking thing I ever did in my past? I think it was like 7 years ago when I was 16 or no, 17. This one girl in my school, in my year, who I was like super in love with. And you know this, I think, when you are in love with a girl or like you think she's super cute, then she's like an angel. I mean, there are, you know, objectively, okay, there are women that are also pretty, but nothing compared to this one girl, right? I just wanted to go on a date with her. I just wanted to meet her and just wanted to be with her. And I was so afraid to fuck it up because this is overthinking, right? Trying to control the future. For months I was looking and thinking, okay, how can I start an interaction with her? How can I ask her out? What can I do? Until I, at some point, just because I had no idea what to do and what to say, so I just at some point texted her, hey, can you come to this and that room after this lesson? I want to tell you something. What do you want to tell me? No, just please, just come there and I want to tell you something. And she came and I was so fucking nervous. I wrote down everything I wanted to say, literally every word by word, how I wanted to ask her out. And it wasn't like not a big conversation, but just a quick conversation if she wants to go out on a date, and if she doesn't want to, just get the fuck out of there and be ashamed forever. I even wrote down, because I was never on that point, never on a date before, I googled 30 interesting topics, like conversation topics for dates that are like make her interested in you. And I wrote them down. I was learning them by heart even before I even talked to her and asked her out on a date. And this was how much I was overthinking, and all this overthinking made me even more nervous in the situation when I wanted to ask her out on a date. Of course I was not smooth, and of course she didn't want to go out on a date with me. So yes, overthinking is such a huge waste of time. This was one of the learning. But today it's about, okay, how can we overcome overthinking? Alright, okay, so if you've watched my first video, I think from yesterday, about overthinking, you know and you remember that overthinking is a direct result of fear, because overthinking is trying to control the future, and fear is always connected to the future. And this is why we try to control the future, because we're predicting it through the fear in general. If this was too quick, just rewind and watch it again. And this is basically then a result of trying to control everything that would happen. Like I did, for example, with the one girl I talked about, or in the social situation with the family. You try to overthink too much to say the right thing and the cool thing and to be accepted. Overthinking in social situation goes even a bit further, and this is what I learned from my mentor. He said, you spend too much time in your actions and inactions trying to be liked and accepted rather than abandoned and rejected. So overthinking in social situation is literally that we think too much about our actions or inactions, what we should do or shouldn't do in order to be liked and not be rejected and abandoned. For example, in 2019, I was starting in police training in Germany because my father wanted to. My father said, hey, this is a safe job, do this. In this class, because it's like a classroom with students, I really was hated because I didn't have the best social skills, and I also never really wanted there, so I didn't really belong. When you hate something, when you don't want something, it was back then for me, really your brain, if it expects a negative outcome, you often have problems to wake up in the morning. You maybe know this. If you are depressed or you hate your job, you have problems waking up. Every morning I had really problems to wake up, so I was always late, often super super often late. And what happens when you're late? You walk down the floor, you're the only person in that floor, the door to the classroom is already closed. Like imagine you're standing in front of the door. This was to me, I knew, okay, and I had to walk back the whole floor and everybody was watching it and was super uncomfortable. So what I did was, I was standing in front of that door. I knew, okay, I fucking have to go in there at some point because I'm standing anyway, but I'm late and everybody will watch. It's super uncomfortable. How should I do this? How should I act there to be cool and to be not even more rejected? And literally I was standing there for 1 to 3 minutes. And you know, if you're in a situation where everything is quiet, you're on a quiet floor, 1 to 3 minutes, 60 to 180 seconds is super fucking long. At some point I could like overcome the fear, knock on the door, and I was like walked the walk of shame basically to the back of the fucking class. Because the action itself, knocking and walking through the door, is not difficult. But I was overthinking, okay, how can I live in the most smooth way? Because I try to control the future, because I try to not be rejected and abandoned even more. Okay, and where does all this stem from, this overthinking in social situation? It is the fact that you are probably having low self-esteem. And you think in the social situation that the other person that you're talking to, or the person in the class, are usually higher value than you, and you are below them. And this is also what my mentor told me. This is also a result from having low self-esteem. He told me, Dennis, you are an FNG. Do you know what an FNG is, Dennis? I didn't know. He was like a fucking nice guy. Okay, I'm a nice guy is what I told him. It's like, no, Dennis, I'm a nice guy. You are a fucking nice guy. Being a fucking nice guy often also results in having problems setting boundaries. You say yes when you mean no. When somebody is asking you for a favor, but you really don't have time, you want to work on your business, you still say yes, even though you wanted to say no. This is like a result of being a fucking nice guy, of low self-esteem, like being bad in social situations in general. Maybe I don't have the perfect solution for stop overthinking, but I might have 2 little things that could improve that. Try to increase the self-esteem by changing or shifting the perspective. Do I like this person? Do I want to spend time with him? Is he good enough for me? This is in general like upward spiral, because when you shift that, does he like me? Does she like me? To do I like him? Do I like her? This also increases your self-esteem, and the self-esteem makes it easier to think that way, that you are the one who's choosing, because usually high self-esteem people really are the person who honestly think that. They don't have to do it as a trick or mindset shift. They just naturally think that way. Hey, do I like this person? Hey, do I want to spend time with him? Hey, he's disrespectful to me. This cannot happen. I will not spend time with him. I do not like him, so he's not in my life. The other thing, when being a fucking nice guy results in not being able to set good boundaries or having troubles with boundaries, is learn to set boundaries. I will do a separate video on this because my mentor told me lots of things about this, how to do this right, so I will share this in a couple of days. Literally setting boundaries, so basically saying no when you mean no, or saying yes when you mean yes, results in higher self-esteem. By saying no to the other person if you mean no, at the same time you say yes to yourself. I thank you for the invitation to the party or whatever, but I don't have time for that, so I will not come. This communicates to you, okay, my time is valuable, and if my time is valuable, this means I am valuable, which means, okay, high self-esteem. This is also reinforcing itself again, which helps with the first point, shifting the view from, hey, do I like this person, rather than, okay, does the person like me? Alright, I appreciate that you made it to the end. These were my things that I would do with overthinking in social situations. What I still do as a very hard overthinker, which I still am. And if you are a big overthinker, I hope you still like the video and don't thought too much about it. And yes, maybe we'll see each other in the next video. Buenas noches, until next time.